Welcome, everyone, to our regular Tuesday session where we talk about all things trekking in Nepal. My name is Michelle Hill, and I am a business and travel coach. And I am joined by Dinesh Karki, a very good friend of mine and a colleague of mine, who has Nature Explore Trek, one of the more highly rated agencies in Kathmandu. I will let him introduce himself shortly, but just for myself, you might be wondering, well, why am I sitting here talking to you about trekking in Nepal? Who am I? I've always been into adventure travel and doing something different. And with that in mind, I got on a plane from Brisbane, Australia, back in 2015 and took myself off to Nepal to trek Everest Base Camp, not really understanding exactly what I was getting myself in for, and exactly the transformation that I would feel and the exhilaration when we achieved getting to base camp. And that was, as I said, my first introduction, and it kickstarted for me a real journey of personal development and transformation. So much so that 2 years after that, I returned to Nepal and I trekked Annapurna Circuit. Again, for me, quite challenging, but also exhilarating. And when you show to yourself, I can do this, I can do what I've set my mind to, it's actually a really fabulous feeling. So for
Yeah.
me, my passion now is to try and share that and share as much about Nepal so people will come and they can experience this for themselves. So that's where I fit into the picture. And now I'm going to hand you over to Dinesh so he can introduce himself.
Good morning and namaste, and thank you, Michelle. I am Dinesh Karki from Nepal, and as Michelle already said, I'm been involved in tourism in Nepal last 20, even little more now, since in my from early age. When I was 14, I started this job as a porter, supporting the people in the mountain, carrying the bags all over the Nepal almost. Last 5, 6 years, then promotely upgrade as a assistant guide and cooking in the kitchens and helping all the things. After spend a decade, and I finally became full guide and guiding the people, especially groups, foreigner groups all over the Nepal, Tibet, Bhutan, India in the eastern side like Ladakh and all the Himalayan region. I mean, and after like many years of experience as a trekking guide with one of the reputable trekking companies in Kathmandu, me and my other friend, guide friends, like my colleague, we are working together now. We decided to establish our own agency with aiming a different, providing a different service than rather than in the market, because we have learned so many things from our guiding experience, and then we want to provide that service to the customers, to the travelers. So that's our aiming to open our nature explore trade. It's been like 9 years almost now that we're running our own company, from 2000 early 2015 to 2014 now, and been it's good journey for us. Being like yeah, we face so many different situations like COVID, earthquake, many things, but still we're surviving and running our company, and we have got success. We feel not well, but still we're pushing on and carrying on our all the responsibilities and doing good job. And in this journey, we have got meet so many wonderful people like Michelle. Now we're friend and doing like these events and aiming the providing the information to among the travelers, and we have got like hundreds of excellency feedbacks from our previous clients from all around the world. And yeah, we have a very good reputable and anything. And also, as I'm owner of the company, I've got many experience, and I travel to the west part of Europe a couple of times, the date 2014 and 2016. At the meantime, I've got good opportunity to travel a trek in the Alps in Switzerland, and that's a really nice and good journey. And I'm loving my job, and I wish and I want continue this my work for until I can. That's how I want to tell now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, our title today is Beyond the Rush, the journey from Jiri to Everest Base Camp. So for people like myself who, before I came to Nepal, obviously I didn't do my research particularly well, but I always thought that to do an Everest Base Camp trek, you needed to fly into Lakla and then trek from Lakla and come back to Lakla and fly back from Lakla. But what we're talking about today is, instead of flying to Lakla, is actually going via Jiri. So you leave Kathmandu in a jeep, you start lower than Lakla, but you spend more time until you actually join the traditional Everest Base Camp Trek. So Dinesh, perhaps you can explain a little bit to us about how does this one compare in terms of how long the itinerary is, but also some of the different places that you trek through before you join the classic Everest Base Camp.
Well, thank you so much for the questions. Yeah, the Everest Base Camp Trek via the Jiri. It is a classical and old trekking trail before the flight start in Lukla. And also it is known as a Sir Edmund Hillary were trek at that trail before he summit the Everest. And it is the trekking, before Jiri, before the bus reached to Jiri, they have other city nearest to Kathmandu. It's called, they started to walk as a history of this trek. And nowadays the car road reached very even further after the Jiri also, maybe in Kinja or Sete, because as the country is changing and developing and reopening the new road, but still people love to walk from Jiri because of this route is, the people who read the history of the Everest Base Camp World Trail and who have a more time in Nepal, and who want to do the Everest Base Camp Trek from footprint of Mount Everest. Like footprint means very low part of the Khumbu. So
Yeah.
this is normally a very long trek compared to the Everest Base Camp, So it is almost 3 weeks trek, including your travel dates. So some people do to walk from Jiri and do the reach to the Everest Base Camp and come back to Lukla and take flight back to Kathmandu. It's also kind of a good round trip. But I found, and I guided some groups, those who are not familiar with the flight, they want to walk the both way. I mean, like if we walk both way, it might take even more than 3 weeks because the sometimes takes down valley, down part of the trek also walking distance,
Yeah.
And the car route now is very close by the Lukla. If someone don't want to walk all the way, and they're not happy to take a flight, and they can go by jeep to the Thamdada, Paya, like because of it's been a long time and changing the things, the road is very close. If you want to follow the real classical Everest Base Camp, Everest Base Camp trek from GD, it is about 20 days.
Yeah.
As we plan the itinerary. Some people do in 21 days also. Some people do 18 days also. As we are in a long plan, they might, it's all depending on the speed, Some people can walk a little faster. And some people nowadays, they do even shorter because of they take a jeep more further back, like more
Right.
further right. Maybe
Yeah.
near like 2 more days they can skip, as they don't, because of uh the train, the hills, landscapes are all up and downs, and then same altitude. You will not be will be jumping very high and going down, right? So that's why you will be in the same level of altitude. That means you can go further drive and then start trekking. And
Okay.
another benefit of doing from Jiri, it is benefits for travelers. It's altitude, When
Yeah.
they start from lower part of the valley, lower part
Yeah.
of the train, you will have already digest the altitude before you reach to the higher part of the trek. Because
Yeah.
of Jiri is very lower altitude compared to the Lukla, by flight. So those who have time, please do from the from Jiri, and we're interested to see the old culture, landscape, and religion. And if you want to see the basic daily lifestyle of the local people, and who want to follow the Sir Edmund Hillary footprint from beginning, and you can also have a great chance to see the many different villages and hills. So this is like you can, well, there is a road, but still you can see some old type of houses and the tea houses. So
Yeah.
this is like a good trek. And then this trek is joining in Chuplung after the Lukla, just close to the Lukla. You will
Okay.
meet your Everest Base Camp Classic Trail in Chuplung after almost 5 to 6 days trek. So in 5 to 6 days time, you will have enough acclimatized before you enter the
Okay.
higher part of the trek.
Yeah.
So, and then when you reach to the Everest Base Camp, 5,364 meter, and come back down, and you can also take a flight if you don't have enough time to go back and come
Yeah.
back. So, and then it will be in total from 19 to 20 days trek.
Yeah. Now that sounds really good. I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking, I've always had this little thing in the back of my mind that I'd like to trek to Everest Base Camp again. And I'm thinking, well, a longer, slower trek might suit me a little bit better now that
Yeah,
I'm getting older.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so that was really interesting where, you did mention about those extra days really giving your body a chance to acclimatize for the altitude.
yeah,
Because I know I've heard, people doing the normal Everest Base Camp Trek, like the one I did was the 14 days, like Kathmandu to Kathmandu, including the flight, etc. But I've heard of people doing that one in 8 or 9 days, which for me, I not being an expert, but it still kind of felt to me a little bit short. So I like the idea of let's have an extended itinerary, and we can adjust it as we go. I know when I did Annapurna Base Camp, oh, excuse me. Yeah, I think mine was it was a 20 or 21 day. And I know there was one part where not long after we'd been through Thorongla Pass, and we were walking just in the dust and the riverbank for half a day. And then the guide said, oh yeah, tomorrow's going to be pretty much the same as this. And me and my 4 colleagues kind of went, maybe this might be a day where we catch a local bus and experience something a little bit different. So
yeah.
we as a group just decided that whilst that landscape was interesting, we pretty much had enough of it. And yeah, we spent the day on a bus, which was an adventure in itself because it was so crowded. But these are the type of things, I guess, particularly for people who are coming to Nepal for the first time, that they don't actually consider.
Yeah.
Well, so is there anything else that you would talk about, or is there something in particular about the places that you go at the start where it's a different cultural experience, or is it simply because you have a longer time on the trail, it is more of a well,
Yeah.
yeah, you just froze.
Yeah, me same. I can see it for you, same. Yeah.
This high techy stuff, it's wonderful, isn't it? No,
Mhm.
what I'm asking you, because I'm not sure when I got cut off, with the extra days when you start at Jiri, is there any particular places that you go to that you really love or are quite different, or is it simply the fact that because starting at Jiri gives you so much longer on the trail, that you feel like you have much more of a cultural immersion and you really get to know the people better?
Thank you. Yeah, so I would, as my experience and my suggestions and what I understand now after the road reach and everywhere,
Yeah.
those people, if you anyone interested to doing this trail in the future, start from not from Jiri, go a little further to Bandar because of uh, Jiri was popular when the road was not further, But
Yeah.
now, if you are in the same train and same level, no meaning to stop in Jiri. But if you are interested, well, you can. But in my opinion, so I would say Bandar, Bandar is the best place. So where you can start from the first day from Bandar, you can trek little the gradual Nepali gradual, little up and down, and then second day you
Is
will
that Nepali
start
easy?
Nepal easy, and second day and third day you have a little bit challenging. You will be on the hillside of the trek, like you will be reaching about 3,500, called Lamjura. It is just opposite side of Pike Peak. And Pike Peak is the newly very popular viewpoint. As I think we've been talk already about this also. So you might have a good chance to see the good sunrise and downtown, the good valley, the greeneries and village and local things. And you have also you will also slowly feel the trekking, like because as you climbing up, and the about your day 4 of your trek, you will go down other side of the hill where you will meet the real Sherpa village and the nomadic Tibetan town. It's called
Mhm.
Zumbesi and Thupchuncheli. Thupchuncheli. It is a very interesting town where you can see the local Sherpa village, fertile land, domestic animals, the old monasteries and painting houses and beautiful tea houses. And then that area is products so many apple products like apple brandy, good
Oh, okay.
pressed apples, and varieties of potatoes. And then in the meantime, you have also good chance to visit the monasteries, the old monasteries, and the ceremony. Every day they have puja. Puja is like praying every day, like in evening. I mean, not late evening, the afternoon. And then you will just trek little up and down, like big hill, big down. That keeps you stronger, your muscles to be for you
Mm.
into the Everest.
Yeah.
And then continue, you'll be reaching the Kharikhola. It is another popular and very beautiful village, big village, where most of the Everest summiter Sherpa were born in that town as well, as it is a Sherpa village. Sherpa,
Yeah.
Mughal, Chatri, Brahman, like mixed town, mixed culture, mixed lifestyle. Along the
Yeah.
trail, you will cross so many different local stops like chicken, cow, buffalo, junkies, like things.
Yeah.
There is, of course, there is it's already road, but you will not walk all the time on road. You can also skip because I would just walk in this January, this trail. So I still found very interesting as I'm guiding.
Yeah.
And then from the Karikola, then you will still trekking up to like to the Tamdana. It is very foresty and hillside. That you will be feel already very close to the mountains on the Everest because of you as you going continue further up, and then another section you will meet the Chuplung or Phagding. That is like the where the most travelers fly from Kathmandu to Lukla, and you will meet them in the Suplum. And then already you will see so many airplanes and helicopters are flying, crossing the road to get to Lukla. So you will feel already that you are close to the Lukla because of the flying and making all sounds.
Yeah.
And then when you meet the classical trail, and then you will be continue your trekking to Namche Bazaar as a HTV, like original, everyone
Yeah.
doing same, who are
Yeah.
flying or driving.
Yeah.
And then uh, Namche Bazaar, Dingbuche, and Everest Base Camp, as Michelle made already in 2015. And then when you celebrate in the base camp, like, hey, I'm reached in the base camp, like 5,000.
I have photos of me with my hands in the
Like
air.
especially my sign pose is this, like as I'm giving and asking all people as my brand, and then you come back down like the through the same trail, like you might be familiar with the same trail, coming down like a couple of days to get Lukla and then fly back. And then options, if you feel it is not familiar with flight, as I already mentioned, the road, the car, I mean the jeep, the off-road jeep, not a smooth car. Okay, the road it is new open trail, so the road is not that much friendly. Still, it's bumpy, but still
Yeah.
you have a
It's still
alternative option.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, alternative option you can down by take down to by jeep to the Solari. Solari is
Yeah.
another town where you
Yeah.
don't have to come back to Jiri. It is other side, just close by the Jumbesi, as I told earlier, and then you can drive back. So
Yeah.
let me add one more things. Those
Yep.
people who are not don't have a time, like as we talk, like 19 days, but still they want to go to Everest, not without flight, right? But there is option. Okay, please
Yeah.
note that you can go drive from Kathmandu to Solari by jeep, and then you can also trek from there. Or if you don't have time, still you can take jeep to the Tamdara or like Pinya, all the way
Yeah.
nearby the Lukula, where I
Okay.
was born, the same village, after the Solari. So that
Okay.
means like there is so many alternative routes at the moment. So
Mm.
Jiri to Everest Base Camp is very interesting, and you have
Yeah.
a lot of alternative options. And those people, especially, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Especially those people like who are retired, like age of like after 60 or like 17 years, but still they want to want to do the Everest Base Camp, and the
Yeah.
bucket list is not clear, and
Yeah.
they are thinking about, "Oh, I could not do, or maybe I have to do." So
Yeah.
go from lower, because of why I'm saying this is it is good for you for a good acclimatize. I know
Yes.
you will have time as you are like retired from the job, right? So 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, if you
Yeah.
manage your time holiday, then you have absolutely beautiful holiday, because of you're not seeing the only
Yeah.
mountain or higher sections. You have a lot of chance to see the local culture,
Yeah.
nature, from the footprints of Everest before you go to the higher section of trek. So this is fit and fine for everyone, but as I'm just thinking and in my experience, maybe this age groups people might be more
Yeah.
interested.
Well, one of the comments that I would make to that as well is that for me, like when I go on long treks, obviously you get track fit because each day you're walking and you're hiking, all that, so that for me, after I've been on the trail for maybe 5 or 6 days, then I'm starting to feel a lot fitter and a lot stronger. And that's why I was thinking, like, if we did the Jiri route, then I would be almost track fit by the time we got to the bit where you have to climb to Namche Bazaar. And then for me, yeah, I just did the classical one, like up to base camp and then back to Lukla. When we got back, it was on a Saturday afternoon, and the fog was so thick that literally you could only see about 5 or 6 meters in front of you. And our guide said Saturday evening, okay, pack up, get ready to go to the airport like we've planned, and meet down in the dining room at 7 o'clock. Anyway, 7 o'clock comes and we're still sitting in the dining room and the fog is as thick as ever. And then must have been about 2 or 3 hours later, he got a call, and there was a group of people who were stuck in Kathmandu hiring a helicopter to get up. And if we wanted to buy a seat on the helicopter, we could go back to Kathmandu on the helicopter. The catch was we then had to hike for an hour and a half down to get to underneath the fog
Yeah.
and
Oh
to
yeah,
a
I know
nice,
that place. Yeah.
yeah, and to a little flat paddock where the helicopter could land. And that was a really unexpected bonus, because the flight from Kathmandu to Lukla, like you're up quite high, so you see stuff, but when you're in a helicopter, obviously you're a lot closer to the ground, So what you can actually see is way more interesting. So I was kind of almost thanking the fog in a way that I got, because otherwise I probably would have thought, oh, it's not, we don't need to get a helicopter, we'll just get on the plane. So there you go. That's my little story about getting back from
That's
Lachlan.
cool. They're really interesting, your experience. Love to hear,
Now, is there anything else you'd like I can't think of anything else we want to cover, because we've talked about, it's a longer, more, well, I was going to use the term interesting, but that's not correct, but more opportunity to see different places. And really, for people who have got the opportunity to spend 3 or 4 weeks in Nepal, this is a really good way to get to know the country and the people and the culture, and also tick off one of those bucket list items. So shall we finish up there today, Dinesh?
Yeah, sure. We are very end of the events, and just last one words I want to add.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you go from the lower part of the Khumbu to Everest Base Camp, you have also see the many mountains and the Peak. I want to add the Peak because of if you don't want to start from Jiri, and if you are looking for options of Peak would be very good, interesting route. Okay, I have
Okay.
done this in this January, and the viewpoint is amazing. So from sunrise, you see the half Nepal. I mean,
Okay.
like east to west of Nepal, like east side, all the Everest, Kanchenjunga, Makalu, Lhotse, the four mountains will greet you. Four over 8,000 mountains will be greets you in the distance, but a clear view. And then the left side in the west part of Nepal, you see the like Annapurna, Dhaulagiri, Manasalu, Langtang, like almost whole Himalaya. I would say whole Himalaya. As I'm saying, I've been many times there, but this January, last January, we have a better view because of we are in the right time. So I
Yep.
see amazing as I'm guiding here, but I want to share this experience to all the travelers, and so you can also go from Peak, and then you can meet down to the Jumbesi, and then continue to classical Everest Base Camp Trek also.
Thank
And yeah, that's I think we try to cover the highlighted of this
you. Yeah.
route. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's not enough information. If anyone interested, please knock us. We are ready. We will share you what you need, like permits, equipments, schedule. We're ready to provide.
Yeah. And yeah, I was just going to add to what Dinesh said is that please feel free to check out the website, Nature Explore Trek, and have a look at some of the standard itineraries that Dinesh and his team offer. But what I would really encourage you to do is, if Nepal or Everest Base Camp or Annapurna Circuit or anything else like that is on your bucket list, and you're not 100% sure exactly what you want to do, please contact Dinesh through the website. There is a contact form. You can write your questions. And then what we'll do is like we can jump on a quick call, or we can just answer questions by email.
Yeah.
But also bear in mind, as Dinesh has just explained, like the way that we would approach it is we ask you, how long do you have? How fit are you? What do you really want to do? And what's really important to you? Is it the accommodation? Is it the meals? Is it what you see? Is it meeting local people? So then we can tailor the itinerary to make sure that we tick all the boxes for you. So I'm just going to leave that thought with you. Around this video, you will see a link where you can get in touch with us. So I would encourage you to do so. There's no obligation. And we will be back next week, and we will be talking about more things trekking. And I've done the I've organized the topic for next week, and I can't remember what it is. So keep an eye out for the event for that, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Yeah.
Thank you, Dinesh.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
Namaste.